It's time for Crossfire, brought to you by ASAP General Stores and Lucille's Roadhouse. Catch Crossfire on demand. Follow the Western Oklahoma Wake Up Show podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube Music, or Right.media.
Well, it's time for the program we started when I began this program 5 years ago. It's called Crossfire, and with us this morning is Representative Anthony Moore, who's been with us all along. Good morning, Representative Moore. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. It's always good to be here.
Hey, thank you for joining us and getting up
Glad
early.
to have you back.
Well, it's kind of different, isn't it? You kind of.
I know.
We did this for 5 years, and filling in for Cindy Munson, who's running for office, is Senator Julia Curt, who came out during our breakfast, and we got to know her when I was in the House. Good morning, Senator Curt. Welcome.
Good morning. Good morning. My favorite day of the year is waking up with breakfast and horizon over Weatherford.
Yeah, it's always fun, and we enjoy having you out. Well, let's get started. Mustafa Saimi also joining us on the program this morning.
Good morning, folks.
Good morning.
Senator?
Yeah?
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm good. Good to talk to you again.
You too.
So I got a chance to watch some of the governor's debate last night. I guess one of the first questions was to Macy and the other candidates about Macy getting the endorsement of President Trump. What did you think of their responses, and what about that endorsement? What does that mean for Macy, who's running for governor? Your thoughts about that, Representative Moore first.
Well, obviously, I thought it was a big deal, and then you look at some of the numbers that we've seen in the polling data, and it's really not been a very big deal, and I think that's probably because of the way he got it. You know, he sounds like he made a deal with Roger Stone, paid $70,000 or more, and then flip-flopped on a aluminum smelter, which I think we may talk about here in a little bit, but I think a lot of people were pretty disappointed with how he responded, and a lot of those, the folks that he got in the bump, I think the polling shows that he got those folks from McCall and Keating, and then lost a lot of folks to Jake Merrick. So it's kind of really been a shakeup. But I think we're seeing who he is. He's kind of flip-flopped on several issues, and including his comments about teachers and superintendents throughout the state, and so. I think people need to be paying attention. I think that people watch. If people pay attention, that it's just not someone that they're going to want to support that can't be consistent and decisive.
Senator Curt, did you watch the debate at all last night?
I have to admit I did not. And, when I'm out of session, out of the state capitol, I do have to, maintain my mental health at times. So.
I don't blame you. Well, I'm interested.
But I've been watching the, race pretty closely, as you can imagine. And I mean, I got to say, so much of what we're seeing is just not dealing with the real issues that we need our governors working on, solving real problems for people, and really focusing on what the people of Oklahoma need first. I feel like there's so much pandering to very narrow portion of voters that we're not hearing a lot about how they lead. I sure feel like the debate doesn't give us some of the biggest jobs that we see in a governor, like who do they hire? We've seen again and again challenges with Governor Stitt's appointments to lead our most important state agencies. Now I want to know how they hire and who advises them, because one of those biggest challenges as a governor is who do you get your advice from? How do you learn what you don't know? And I feel like we're seeing a whole lot of hot air, but not the real meat of how they would lead.
Let's talk about this smelter plant. I don't know if most of the listeners even know what that's about. Aluminum smelter plant near Pryor that I guess some money was appropriated at least to help out in that cause, but a couple of the candidates are against that. Macy flip-flopped on it. Getting Drummond seems to be against. Tell us about that plant. What's it mean, Senator Curt?
Well, this came to the state as a big opportunity for a new investment in the state. And, I always take those things with a real critical eye, and I'm on the LEAD committee, which is a committee that gets to meet with some of the entities that are looking at needing investments to close their deals. And weighing it out, there are a lot of advantages to the project. Now, I do feel like the local community got left behind on this planning and deciding if this is what they wanted to do. But you have a situation where they're going to put in place the biggest aluminum smelting plant in the country, which is a primary industry. That means every single thing that comes off that line is going to go to other industries, which means it's got additional economic impact. We expect there to be a lot more businesses open nearby. It's going to have a whole lot of good jobs, high-paying jobs for people who don't have college education, and that's something I weighed heavily, was the importance of, good careers for people out there, plus the huge capital investment in that area. And when I talked to the company and looked at their environmental track record, I was super impressed with how they keep. They actually have higher standards than America's standards for how they deal with water and air. So I understand the local concerns, though, and I wish they'd been involved earlier. But I think really fundamentally the reason I supported it was I felt like it was really good for our economy, good for our communities to have those important jobs there.
Representative Moore.
Well, that's a really good summation. I forgot Senator Kurt was on the lead committee, so she definitely knows quite a bit about that. And I also support it, but I will tell you, I think that there is some legitimate concern, locally, of course, they should have been involved. I agree with Senator Kurt, and I think one of the concerns, with the injunction that was filed from the AG is that there needs to be some discussion about where the sludge that cannot be disposed of in American landfills, where that's going to go. And so I think that there are some legitimate concerns. I think that it is something that needs to make sure that those are addressed. But I don't, again, I don't have any room for flip-flopping, and especially when those opinions are bought and paid for. So
I guess some of the candidates are opposed to this for governor. What's going to happen if you get? I think right now, if I'm right or wrong, who's against this at this particular time that's running for governor?
Well, the only one last night that said that they, I don't think anybody said they were against it. I think all four pretty much gave the same answer. I mean, Mazie, is obviously in favor of it because it's part of Trump's agenda and it's a national security issue. But the other three all said that they, were against the incentive piece, but were for it as long as it's done the right way. And I think that's why, Drummond filed that injunction, just to make sure that it's done the right way. And I don't really have a problem with that. We want to make sure that we're doing things the right way, that it's not going to be harmful. And I think those were addressed in a lot of the lead committee meetings, but also I think that there's no reason that we can't double check that and make sure that we've got everything taken care of before we begin that process.
20 minutes now after 7 o'clock. You're listening to Crossfire, brought to you by ASAP Energy. We'll be back with more right after this word from ASAP Energy on the Western Oklahoma Wake Up Show and Crossfire. Julia Kirk from Oklahoma City, state senator, along with Representative Anthony Moore.
Buckle up, Oklahoma. The ride of a lifetime starts now. It's ASAP Energy's Route 66 Centennial Celebration giveaway, and you could win a custom 1966 Chevelle. That's right, over 100,000 reasons to visit your favorite local stops like any ASAP General Store, Lucille's Restaurants, and Rick's Boots and Outfitters. Now through July, just swipe your kickback card every time you shop for your chance to win. Every swipe is a chance to walk away with your very own custom 1966 Chevelle. So start swiping so you can celebrate 100 years of the Mother Road in style.
Breaking news. President Donald Trump endorses conservative Mike Mazie for governor. President Trump says Mazie is a MAGA warrior and that Mike Mazie knows the America First policies required to grow our economy, create great jobs, cut taxes and regulations, promote Made in the USA, and unleash American energy dominance. Trump says Mike Mazie will fight tirelessly to support our amazing farmers and ranchers, keep our borders safe and secure, stop migrant crime, ensure law and order, and defend our always under siege Second Amendment. President Trump gave conservative Mike Mazie his complete and total endorsement.
This is Mike Mazie. I'm honored to be endorsed by President Trump. Like Trump, I won't compromise with the radical left. We'll fight back and win.
Endorsed by President Donald Trump. Conservative Republican Mike Mazie for governor. Authorized and paid for by Mazie for Governor 2026.
Over 20,000 square feet of furniture and appliances at Tot Fest. David.
Harold, we are the one-stop shop. Literally, we have mattresses, furniture, and appliances. We've been here 80 years, and the reason we're here is because we service people after the sale.
A big tradition going on at Tot Fest for 80 years, folks. Shop at Tot Fest for all of your furniture and appliances. Tot Fest, the best in quality, service, and price. Main corner, downtown Weatherford.
Everyone is feeling it. Inflation is causing the price of everything to go up. And State Question 832 will only make things worse. 832 will cause inflation to skyrocket, raising prices even more on essentials like groceries, gas, childcare, and medication. Higher prices squeeze small business, Oklahoma families, and senior citizens on fixed incomes. It's simple. You have the power to stop it and protect all Oklahomans. Vote no on State Question 832.
Authorized and paid for by OCPA.
Deer Creek Market and Variety and Hydro, the best in friendly small-town customer service, hosting everything from fresh hand-cut steaks, fresh ground beef made in-house, along with fresh fruits and vegetables grown and made in Oklahoma, nuts, candies, salsas, pickles, and more. And don't forget to check out the Variety side, full of unique made-in-Oklahoma gift items. And now, treat yourself to the brand-new ice cream and coffee parlor, your new go-to spot for a sweet scoop or a fresh brew. Shop Deer Creek Market and Variety and Hydro.
When it comes to Ouachita County, experience matters. Bart Gosen was born and raised right here in Ouachita County and has spent the last 22 years serving our communities. Bart has worked to improve county roads and bridges, support local communities, and stand behind our volunteer fire departments when they need it most. On Election Day, vote for proven leadership and experience you can trust. Re-elect Bart Gosen for Ouachita County Commissioner, District 1.
Paid for by Bart Gosen for Ouachita County District 1 Commissioner.
Escaping that summer heat can seem impossible. Is your unit working overtime to keep your home cool? Call Southwest Air and Heat, your local Lennox dealer in Weatherford. Southwest Air and Heat and Lennox are the trusted and experienced names for air conditioning in western Oklahoma. No matter the make or model, Southwest Air and Heat can service it. Call 772-8000. That's 772-8000. Perfect air, unmatched care. That's Southwest Air and Heat, your local Lennox dealer in Weatherford.
23 minutes after 7 o'clock, we're in Crossfire with Senator Julia Kurt and Anthony Moore, state representative from District 57, which includes Weatherford, Clinton, and a big part of western Oklahoma. And welcome to the program if you just tuned in. I want to talk a little bit about the amount of money being spent, and it disturbs me. I got to tell you, I don't think anyone like Mary Fallon or George Nye those types of people are going to be able to run for governor because they weren't wealthy people. I think it seems to me you got to be wealthy now to run for governor. The top four candidates have put $2 and $3 million, $4 million of their own money in the race. Is that justified, and is that a bad thing? Let's start with you, Anthony Moore.
Yeah, it's a terrible thing, Harold. Did you see how much TV just this week alone in the governor's race has been bought? And that includes outside sources. Did you see that?
No, I did not see that.
$5.2 million this week in TV buys. Mike Mazie is now at $11 million that he put in to this race alone so far, just to get through the primary. And it's not a good thing. It's not good for Oklahoma. It's not good for Oklahomans. We need people that just want to serve. We don't need people that can, get their way in. I mean, and you want to go down the ticket. I mean, you look at David Ostro, spent several million for lieutenant governor, and the list goes on and on and on. It's just Starling and AG, and it's really disappointing because there's just not a place for someone that doesn't have millions, to donate, to contribute, or someone to back them. Which is even worse because then you're looking for someone to back, and that means you're beholden to somebody. And so that's not the way this was intended to be, and it's disappointing for sure.
Well, it's gotten to the point where you can't afford to run unless you got lots of money. It seems to me, and all four of the top.
You have to have
all four.
You have to have $5 million to be in, or else you might as well not get in.
Well, and they've all put $2, $3, $4 million. The top four candidates, the ones making a difference in the governor's race on the Republican side, not so much on the Democratic side. Representative Kurt. Is that because it's just going to be difficult for a Democrat to win the governor's race?
Yeah, well, we just don't have a tradition of that self-funding that I know of. I agree with Representative Moore that, it's alarming to see people loaning themselves so much money. I was concerned when I saw people loaning themselves $500,000, much less $10 or $11 million. I think the people start to wonder who they're working for and how much they expect to make in this job. We have a lot of perceptions that we're up there getting rich as we make decisions for the state, and this kind of finance sure doesn't help it. I think it is interesting. I think if you look at Leader Munson's reports, she's pretty much all individuals. There's a few political action committees thrown in there, but it's thousands and thousands of individuals, and really has reached a broad base. But when you have people buying as many TV ads as they have, it's hard to keep up. And I hear from a lot of people who are sick of the ads and tell me how frustrated they are, and I just don't think that they would be airing them if they didn't work. So if folks are sick of them, they're going to have to really do their own research and not let those TV ads be their guide, honestly.
Let's talk about the local race. Representative Moore, you're involved with Rick Cook and this race for District 26. Julie Kurt, you are in the Senate. This is a race I would think both of you are watching. There are three candidates in the Republican primary, no Democrats in the race. What are your thoughts about this race, Julie Kurt, as someone sitting along the side watching it?
Yeah, I've read a little bit about each of the candidates, and I'm hoping that voters are doing their due diligence to make sure they're going to fill that seat with somebody who's going to add to the Senate and really represent your community and not be just an ideologue, somebody who comes in with a manifesto and wants to just be there to give speeches. That's my worry, because I see candidates that are really trying to learn and do the work to learn about the community needs and what their role might be. And then I see folks who are just seem to be there to give lectures. And we have enough of that in the Senate. We don't need more people who aren't trying to truly work on common ground and what we can do in the Senate. So, yeah, I'm nervous about that one because, and of course, I've said this before, but I can't stop, which is that Senator Yeck is just hard to replace. He and
solid.
Senator Howard are both going to be real hard to replace in the Senate and in their caucus.
Well, one thing I learned being in the House in the majority is the majority has to govern, which means doing a budget, and it's really hard for someone that's an ideologue or someone that is against everything to get anything done for the state. Similar to what's happened with Ryan Walters in the state superintendent's office. Your thoughts, Representative Moore, for this race, because you're going to be working with whoever's elected, obviously, from our area.
Well, that's the hope, and I think that's why this vote's so important. I couldn't say it any better than Senator Kurt just did. That's twice that she's stolen my thunder, but the reality is we want someone who can work with not only me, but the rest of the Senate and the House to try to move Oklahoma forward, but specifically Custer County and western Oklahoma forward. And you got to be willing to work, and I think that's what people need to be voting for: someone who's willing to put down their ideals and their perfect manifestos, and be able to say, listen, an 80% win is a win, and if it moves us all forward, we can work on the other 20% instead of giving these grand speeches about why we should be doing things differently.
So you openly have endorsed Rick Cook.
I have, yes, that's correct.
And why is that?
Well, I think it's very clear that, number one, if I want someone to focus on Custer County and western Oklahoma, because Custer County is the only part of that district that overlaps me, I want someone who lives here. Rick sees it, boots on the ground every day. He's invested here. He's been in business here for decades, and he knows this place even better than I do. And I know that he wants it to succeed. His kids and grandkids live here, and he wants it to be better for them. He wants them to be able to stay here. Just the same reason I got in office. I want it to be better for my kids and grandkids one day. And so he's the only one that I feel is truly committed to Custer County the way that we need it to be, and I think that he'll do a phenomenal job.
Tell me something good.
Yeah. Can you believe we're out of time almost? This has been a quite fast program today. Mustafa had his hand up.
Yeah, I did have a question, but it sounds like we're out of time.
Yeah, what would you like to say?
Well, from a perception standpoint, does one candidate really make all of the claims that they project out in these campaigns? Are they really that effective? Is it possible for one person to really go in there and do all this stuff?
Probably not.
Are you talking about the governor's race?
Yeah, I'm talking about all the races as far as the state level races. So. Securing the border, making Oklahoma great again. I hear this over and over and over again. So I'm just wondering, do we really believe this? And when we get ready to vote, are we confused about how many people can do these things?
I think it's with all the negative advertising, it really makes it difficult. I'm just saying this, you got to really evaluate and not pay a lot of attention to the dark money in those ads, because most of them, even though, they're against somebody, most of them are not very accurate. For example,
I think that to your point, Mustafa, I mean, you got to get up there and work together, because you can be the best of the best, but if you're refusing to work with anyone, you're not going to get anything done up there. I mean, that was Mike Mazzei's track record. I mean, to a person, everyone that I've ever talked to that had to deal with him, he was not pleasant to work with.
Mm-hmm. I found him to be arrogant and not willing to work with. I was state rep during the time he was in the Senate, and I didn't care for him.
What made it difficult?
Well, he just was arrogant and aloof, and you couldn't get him to settle down and make a decision.
Wow,
very hard.
Well, and he was Governor Stitt's primary budget advisor the first few years, and that didn't go well for Stitt.
Well, not only that, but he changed.
He wanted to do big blanket decisions instead of really thinking things through.
Yeah, you're right. Well, tell me something good, Representative Moore.
Well, something good is that we've got some more rain in the forecast, of course, but it may not be something our traditional. Tell me something good, but I really want to say how much I enjoyed getting to know and working with Mark Lance. We first met each other on the trustee foundation board for the Clinton Public Schools Foundation, and he was a guy with a big heart that did a lot of good for a lot of people. And when he moved over to the radio station, I was pleasantly surprised, and I really enjoyed getting to work with him. Obviously, I was very shocked and saddened to hear of his passing, and I know that's not traditionally something good, but he was a great man.
No, he was a good guy,
and we're definitely thinking about his wife and kids. So our prayers are with them, and I just want to give him a shout out as my something good today.
Representative or Senator Kurt.
My heart goes out to the family. I'm over here in summer camp mode, so my daughter's out at summer camp in Wewoke, Oklahoma, at St. Crispin's Episcopal Camp, and it just makes my heart so happy that she loves that place like I did when I was a kid, and tomorrow I get to go pick her up. So I sure love that our kids get to have these kind of experiences, and it's a lovely part of the state, lovely hills and great ponds and lakes, and I'm glad she's getting to explore it.
Good point. Hey, thank you all both for being on the show this morning. Have a great day.
You've been listening to Crossfire on KCLI. Also available on the News Talk KCLI app or archived on the Western Oklahoma Wake Up Show podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube Music, or Right.Media. Crossfire is a courtesy of ASAP General Stores and Lucille's Roadhouse.
State Representative Anthony Moore. Rick Cook tells it like it is, and he doesn't back down. He's tough. He's direct. Rick doesn't care about political gains. He cares about getting results and standing up for our values. I need Rick fighting right along beside me in the Oklahoma legislature.
Conservative businessman Rick Cook will fight to secure the border, protect rural Oklahoma, and stand with President Trump. Rick Cook for State Senate. Tough leadership, real results.
Hi, I'm Rick Cook. Help me make Western Oklahoma great again. Paid for by Friends Rick Cook, 2026.
With us this morning, We have the one and only John Matthews.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Hey, we had a great crossfire today. We're running a little bit later than usual.
It happens. It happens. No big deal. No big deal.
Guess who's with me in here this morning?
Who's in there?
Mustafa Saimi.
Mustafa!
Hey, John. It's been a while, man. A couple of minutes. You're looking good today, baby.
Thank you. You too. You're looking great. The king of dominoes.
Hey.
In the studio.
We're moving on to Mahjong or whatever that is.
Yeah.
Some more tile games. You ever play that game, John?
No. What's tile like?
Mahjong.
No. But they've done at my other job. They're doing this after hours thing where people kind of stay after work, and that's what they've been playing lately.
Wow. Mahjong? That's an interesting game. It's an old game.
Used to be for old ladies. Now it's for old men like
men
myself.
Too? Okay. Games are fun. Like, we love family game night at the house, and I think if we could bring that back a little bit, where we're not all having to hold our tablets.
Absolutely.
Where we can play Pictionary, or we played the game of life the other day. You remember that game?
Yes.
That's you can come up with. You don't realize the life lessons that game teaches you until your kids are asking about whenever you put them in their car, those little pegs and the different taxes you have to pay, and how expensive kids can be. No, it's fun.
It's a learning process.
It is 100%. What about spades? We spades players?
I play spade a lot.
Yes.
I play bridge.
What is bridge?
Bridge is very similar to spades, except
Okay.
you pick the trump. Spades are just the only trumps you have in that game. But with bridge, you have a process in order to select the trump that you want to use.
Okay, so it's like a mixture between hearts and spades,
Yeah,
kind of?
a little bit. It's more complicated. It's a bidding process, and that determines where you are, how you end up playing the different suits.
I'm 1 year older today, and so it's
today your birthday?
Today it is, yeah.
Well, happy birthday!
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Happy birthday to
man.
you.
But this is when you start questioning, the old people things. No offense, fellas. But, you start playing bridge and spade. What was the other one again?
Bid whiz.
Bid whiz?
Yeah,
dominoes.
Yeah, dominoes. We're getting closer to diapers.
Backgammon.
Okay, that's good. Pickleball, that's a new older person game.
It's a good exercise, but it's not quite as grueling as racquetball or some other sports.
Yeah.
Tennis.
Golf?
Yes, absolutely on the golf.
Golf's another
Golf's
good one.
hard, but it's fun.
Yep.
Yes.
Hey, I want to ask you, gentlemen, did you go yesterday to Mark Lance's
we did.
funeral services?
Yes,
How was that? I
did.
just want to mention it for a second.
It was a very nice service. Played started out by a song, video of Mark and his wife singing.
Oh.
And that was the beginning of the service, and then the minister did the obituary and talked about Mark and celebration of life, and did a good job. And then Mark sang the song that he wrote recently to his wife, dedicated to his wife, this one,
Always by My Side, right?
Yeah.
Questions. You just sit by my side.
Yes.
Every little.
Yeah, he was such a sorry.
That's all right.
Play a little bit of that. Yeah,
I've heard, and I want to send the condolences out to the family, but the Lance family in Clinton, Oklahoma, have been highlighted over and over again. But Mark's name comes up many times as being a genuine person, a good person, a kind heart, and you just hate to see the things that have to take place in living, and that's dying.
Death and taxes, no doubt.
Yes.
Loved Red Tornado football.
Oh, he did. He
Yes.
was on state championship team.
One of the baddest
Starter.
teams. They tell me during that era, man, that was the team to have been on.
Yeah, one of him and his sons too. I think they all won.
They were all in state
Yes.
championship
State champions,
teams,
and he was the PA announcer over there for a little bit. Anyways, shout out to Mark, man. Rest in peace. Love you from all of us here at Right Media.